Hi everyone, it's Miranda with Multiplicity Crafts, and today I'm making a 3D pop-up Valentine. This is going to be for my little girl, Clarissa, and so we want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day. So I'm going to be making her Valentine with this little image from Sweet and Sassy Stamps. This is a digital image and it's already colored up for me, so it's print and go. That's easy, fast, and I think the image is adorable. So I'm going to start with my normal card base, which is the A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just going to add some little matting layers on there just to give it a little bit of extra something. I'm going to put the little striped background on and then this colorful Valentine-esque looking backdrop, as well as a little doily. You know, Valentines, you got to have a doily, right? And then this little striped piece of paper. Now on top, I'm going to add the puppy and the sentiment, as well as some photo corners. So I'm going to go ahead and construct the outside of the card first, even though the inside of the card is the star of the show. So you can see the little bone I have glued by his foot that came with the digital set, and this sentiment came with it as well. So I have everything I need to make a card. All I had to do was just add my backdrop in, and the digital stamp is already colored, so I just printed it and it was ready to go just at a moment's notice. So here I'm just folding a piece of scrap paper in half, and then I'm going to fold it again another time. And this way my little photo corners will be all the same size, and I don't have to try to measure them precariously to make sure that they're all the same angle and the same size. I can just fold it like that, cut through all of those layers at once, and I have perfectly shaped and sized little photo corners to add a little bit of interest to the card. So I'm going to get this card kind of laid out how I want before I glue anything down. If there's one thing I've learned in card making, it is do not glue a single thing until you are positively sure that's where you want it. Now on the puppy itself, I'm going to pop it up on some little foam squares just to give it some dimension, and that will also add some extra interest to the card. And so I'm just going to pop those on there, and he's going to be a little bit 3D as well, but the 3D component for the card is actually going to be on the inside, which I'll show you in just a moment. So this Valentine's Day is not my daughter's first Valentine's Day because she's 3 1/2, but it's the one where I think she's kind of understanding, you know, about love and things of that nature, where she seems to comprehend. So I'm going to explain that to her when I give her her little Valentine and just let her know how much we love her. And you can see here I'm adding some little texture to the puppy's bandana. I could have waited until the end and should have waited until the end to did this until I worked on the inside of the card. Hindsight's 20/20. I was just going with it and just kind of got a little bit ahead of myself, but thankfully they dried relatively quickly and I could move forward. So you can see that I cut this little heart out. It's just the kind like you used to cut in school. Basically fold a piece of paper in half and cut a half of a heart, and then when you open it up you have the whole heart. I'm going to do that on various colors of scrap paper I have so I can have a little pile of hearts this size and this shape. And I'm also going to trace a little small one. I'm not folding this one in half simply because I don't want the little fold line in it. I'm going to just glue this one down straight. So I'm going to trace that with a pencil, fussy cut that out with my scissors, and I'm going to glue a couple of these directly inside the card, as you'll see in just a moment. I am going to speed up the cutting of this heart and some of my things I'm cutting out just because, you know, I don't think we need to do it real time because you already know how to cut. So I'm going to take 2 of these little hearts that I've cut out, actually the bigger hearts, and I'm going to place them side by side along the crease of the card. I'm not gluing them onto the crease because that'll inhibit how the card opens and closes, but I'm gluing them really close to the crease. I'm adding liquid glue to give me a little bit of wiggle room, and that way I can put that right there next to the crease and kind of fold up the back of the card to make sure that's nice and straight along that fold line. Not only will this ensure that my heart is on there straight, but it will also make sure that it's not glued on the crease, because if you glue it directly on the crease of the card, the card won't open properly. So we're just adding 2 halves of the heart, and that way it looks like a whole heart even though it's not glued directly on that crease or that fold of the card. So I'm putting those as close as I can, but leaving maybe just a little tiny gap just to allow the card to open and close. So whenever I start this process, I'm going to take these little hearts that I've cut. These are whole hearts, but I just have them folded in half. And I'm going to glue just one side of the heart down to the previous one I've glued. So you can see how I'm doing that. Again, I'm using liquid glue to give me a little bit of wiggle room in case I need to adjust it slightly to line it up with the previous heart. And this is nothing new. I didn't invent this. I've seen this done so many times before. Even as a child, you cut the little hearts out and glue them and stuff. But I thought it was kind of cute to put in this little card, and I added several layers and several colors. I probably added maybe a layer or two, too many, but I wanted it to really have a lot of hearts in it, so I think I might have got it just a little bit too thick, but it still worked in the end. Now you could make this heart in the middle a little bit bigger. I thought about it, of making like a really big heart, but I decided just to keep a little small one at the top center, and then that way it'll give me room to write a message. So you can see once I have that nice and creased down, you open it and it gives you a very nice 3D effect, which I think my daughter will really like. I think children love the interactive cards, and I really think that she'll like the colors of this as well as the 3D dimensional effect. This is also mailable, so if you have somebody that you need to mail a Valentine's card to, or any type of card for that matter, you can put this inside and it will mail. You might have to add extra postage, but it should get there just fine. So this is the finished look at the card. Again, I'm going to write a little special message inside there for her and present that to her and read it to her. And I think this will be a very special Valentine's Day for my little girl. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create this card, and that you'll check out this digital image over at Sweet and Sassy Stamps. I'll have everything linked below for you in case you're interested. And I will also have a couple of videos here if you care to watch some more. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.